Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Hannah and I live in Los Angeles with my husband Alex and our dog Kaboom. I recently filmed and shared a home tour as well as a before and after. And so now I am going to show you how I turn what we call the CASITA, which is our detached studio that is just over 100 square feet, how I transform it into a guest space, because typically it is a home office, a snug. It also stores my mini trampoline. So it's just this multi-purpose space day to day, but it does have the ability to become a guest space because the sofa that we have in here is in fact a sleeper sofa, and we are able to fit a small wardrobe which has all of the guest bedding. But the very challenging thing is that the desk setup, the mini trampoline, and then all of the decor that we have in the space for the most part has to get taken out anytime that we have someone come stay with us, because this space is so small. It's essentially the size of a small bedroom but doesn't have a closet. So already we have the wardrobe and then we have the sleeper sofa. So aside from those two main pieces of furniture, we do have side tables that function as nightstands, and then we do have a small bench by the door that's pretty narrow, and then that is it in terms of furniture. But we do have a couple of floating shelves for some additional surface space, but we can't fit any other furniture, so we can't have a dresser in here, and everything that typically fills the space and is not the sofa or the wardrobe or the bench or the side tables, like everything else has to come out, pretty much including all of the decor, because the idea is that I want to keep the surfaces uncluttered, but like day to day I don't want to look at an empty shelf. So I have decorative items that add interest and just a bit of character to the space. But then when guests come, I have to take all of that out. So if you haven't already watched the home tour or the before and after, I highly recommend you do that if you're interested in sort of seeing what we're working with in terms of space or lack thereof, and how it is incredibly challenging to sort of shuffle things around to provide space for additional people when already it's myself and Alex sharing a single bathroom, and it's only a 3/4 bathroom. It's not even a full bathroom, which would mean that it has a bathtub and a shower, because a 3/4 bath is just having a shower. We really can only accommodate a single person at a time, but the one exception that we make is for my parents. So that is the only time when we have two additional people coming into the space and sharing a living space with us for a few days. It's the perfect amount of space for myself and Alex, but there are days, of course, where we really wish we had a little bit more space, or we wish we had a second bathroom. There are times where I really would love to have a bathtub, or like just having a powder room in addition to our bathroom. But day to day, our house is our dream. We love it. We love the layout. But yeah, of course, there are times when we just wish we had a little bit more space. And I think then anytime that we host guests, it can get quite cozy. So yeah, my parents are the only duo that we make an exception for, and then it's one person at a time. And even then, it's a lot to have to shuffle things around because yeah, everything that's in the casita has to go to the house. So I have gone back and forth about potentially getting a desktop computer, but then the idea of then having to move it and store it in our bedroom when we need to use the casita as a guest space, it's just tricky. Obviously, we could just opt to not allow people to stay with us, but we do live on the other side of the country from pretty much like everyone we know, like all our friends and family. I feel very fortunate to have people who want to come and see us and spend time with us, and therefore it's nice having the ability to have this separate space so that it's not someone having to crash in our living room. And so it's such a luxury to be able to have this bonus space. However, we can't have it permanently be a guest space either because our space is so limited. And so the casita really has to be many things. So we make it work, but it's always a little bit of a challenge. And I'm just someone who is very concerned with people feeling comfortable and wanting people to feel comfortable and cozy in a space and have it be warm and inviting. So I always try to be as hospitable as I can and try to leave no stone left unturned in terms of thinking about all of the things that I would want if I were a guest. It's something that every single time someone comes to stay, I am then, after they leave, reevaluating and being like, okay, do I need to add anything? And truthfully, like every single visit, I have ended up finding a way that we could add a feature to make our guests more comfortable, like put an extra mattress pad on the mattress, because we do have a topper, but then I recently added an additional pad that stays on the mattress, and it's thin enough that it can fit with the bed going back into the sofa, the mattress going back into the sofa. I added like a hanging set of shelves for the wardrobe. I'm always trying to think of additional things that I can add and how to make our guests more comfortable. The most recent thing that we are adding, the side tables that we have, there is a USB outlet in it, and so you can just have a charging cord that comes out of the table, so it's like very convenient for guests, and then that way they don't have to use the remaining outlets for charging their phone, and they can use the outlets for other electronics. So we always have had cables, but in the past we've had like the lightning cables, and now the more recent iPhones have the USB-C. So I got a couple of cords for each side table that have the USB-C. Most electronics I think now are the USB-C. So that's like the newest addition for the amenities that we have for guests. I really try to go above and beyond, but at the same time, having guests really stresses me out. I'm a Cancer sun, I'm an introvert. I feel like having people come into my sanctuary, my cocoon, it makes me really anxious. And also being a perfectionist and a people pleaser, I like fall over myself to try to be as accommodating as possible, but it's to the point that I make myself sick with stress. It's not great. And I just sort of think that's who I am. Like, I'm never gonna be chill about that. It's something I really wanna be as hospitable as possible, but then at the same time, it's like to my detriment where it is not good for my health. And so it is one of those things where it's like, I feel very grateful to have people who come and visit, but at the same time, it's like best if it's like very rare and like once in a while. Yeah, let me know if you're the same way, where it's like you love seeing people. You feel so appreciative that they want to come and see you, but then also it's so stressful and you just like want to put so much effort into it, but it's a lot. With that being said, I thought that it would be interesting to show you the transformation because my parents are coming into town in a few days, so I thought that I would just show you what I do to get this space ready for guests. Today, I am going to be taking everything out that cannot be here in order for this space to become a guest room. So I will have to be taking out quite a few things from this space. And then the other thing I need to do today is I need to have the vacuum bags that are in the wardrobe that have the duvet insert and the mattress topper and the pillows, to take those bags out and take everything out of the bag so it starts to have time to expand and fluff up, because I don't want to do that too close to my parents visiting. It's probably more than enough time at this point. I probably just need to do like 24 hours ahead of time, but I'm doing it several days ahead of time because then I want to leave myself enough time to be able to make up the bed and not feel rushed. So that's what I'm doing today. So yeah, I need to start taking everything out. So let's do that. Okay. The table has to be folded down. It's not a folding table. We have the same exact table out on the patio as our dining table. It's from IKEA. The idea is that you just have to loosen some screws and it folds down. So it makes it very easy to store. So we can just sort of lean it up against the back of the house. And it is technically an outdoor table, so I also don't have to worry about it being outside. And then the chair has to go into the house, and so that is going to go in the bedroom and get pushed in under the writing desk, and the lidded basket that's under the writing desk is going to have to be moved to the side of the desk. And then this mural has to get rolled up and it gets stored behind the living room sectional, and it's covering a mirror. So I love how this mural looks in the room, but the whole reason why I added it, because we started off, there's a round mirror that we had in our old apartment here in LA, but then I got this mural for Zoom calls, essentially. I just wanted a backdrop and not have the mirror reflecting the screen and the rest of the space. Like, I just wanted a simple backdrop and not dealing with the distracting reflection of the mirror, if that makes sense. So essentially it gets rolled up, and so thankfully it's very easy to store. But first, before I remove this, I'm gonna have to move the desk and chair out, and then also the mini trampoline has to be brought out as well. But the great thing about this is that the legs can come off, they screw off, and so we're able to fit this in our storage bed. But this floor stool that is a new addition, this we haven't had to worry about storing yet with guests coming into town, so it's just always lived here. So I'm gonna have to figure out where this cushion is going to go. These two boxes are gonna have to be brought into the house, but thankfully they break down so they won't take up so much space, and there's not a lot of stuff in them. Everything in this basket is gonna get removed, but the basket is going to stay. And then everything on the desk has to be brought into the house. And then we have a mattress topper, the duvet insert, and the pillows. And we have them in vacuum bags. And already the vacuum bags are bursting. I had to take the air out of them when I filmed the house tour because the doors were just bursting, and already the doors are back to not closing completely because the vacuum bags inevitably expand a little bit. I have a little gift for my parents that we picked up in Ojai. So we have the linens and towels. I also have guest robes and slippers. And so what is great is that this wardrobe stores all of the bedding, and then the bedding all comes out, and then you have the wardrobe for guests to store their clothing. And I have the hangers, and then I have this hanging set of shelves. It's nice to be able to just fold some things and not hang everything. So this is what the wardrobe typically looks like when I go to open it. And then in this drawer, we have a quilt. We also have a throw blanket. That stuff just stays in the drawer. And then we have in here, can't really see, but we have a couple of water bottles for guests. So I will, the day they come, fill those up and leave them out on the nightstands for them. We also have a small air purifier. I think I'll probably move that out as well. It gets pretty tight, especially with two people, but I wanted to have an air purifier for this space. I mentioned in the house tour that this wardrobe is IKEA, and I originally had, when we first moved in, I had tried to find an antique English pine wardrobe, but they were all massive. A standard size wardrobe is way too large for this space. So the wardrobes themselves weren't massive. It's just a standard wardrobe is too big for this space because we have the mini split, and so it has to be a certain height. This is marketed as a children's wardrobe, so it is not a standard size. It is a smaller size, and it's really the only thing that would fit. And so one of my favorite things to do for flat pack furniture, I love painting and adding new hardware. So we did both, and we painted the wardrobe to blend in with the rest of the space. We color drenched, so the walls and the trim, the door, the ceiling, everything is painted the same color, which is Sea Pearl by Benjamin Moore, which is also what our bathroom is painted. I wanted it to just sort of disappear into the wall. It definitely helps to make the space feel a little less tight and sort of invokes a built-in, even though it's obviously not. I find it can sort of have that visual effect. Painting a piece of furniture instantly customizes it, and especially adding new hardware. So we added new knobs to the doors and the drawer. And I feel like, especially when you have mass-produced furniture, it's really nice to put your own stamp on it. So I love to just customize it with things like paint and hardware. We actually had these baskets in our old LA apartment, and thankfully we were able to keep them, and they just are the perfect pieces to sort of block the mini split, but because they're open weave, they allow air to pass through. And then we have a reed diffuser, and this is a ceramic vessel that we picked up in Ojai. And I just thought it looked kind of cool with the reed diffuser in it. So yeah, that's what we have going on. Okay, so this is everything excluding the desk, but it's now all pretty much going to have to go in the bedroom with the exception of the mural, and then we still have to figure out where the floor stool is going to go. So yeah. Okay. So I have the new charging cords, and then I'm gonna have to do a clean, but I have coasters, and then these are the LA interest guidebooks, which I just thought was fun for guests to have. So I've purchased most of them from the Los Angeles Public Library shop. We have them on the other side as well. So the idea is it's sort of like at a hotel where they'll have like a few destination-based books. This pendant, we got the shade at a local shop here in Los Angeles, which very sadly closed. And then we got a light kit for it, so it plugs in. And what is really nice is that this outlet is connected to the switch. So we are able to plug in the light and turn it on and off from here, which is really nice for guests. The mural has to move. The main reason is this seat cushion on the sofa. When it gets tucked to the side of the wardrobe, it comes out too far, and so it would overlap onto the mural. It is a big mural, so it is a bit of a hazard, but the other thing is it is nice having this mirror to sort of brighten up this space, reflect the light coming from the windows. It gives guests a mirror. That is it for today, and then probably in a couple days I will come in and do a deep clean and then make up the bed and just sort of make sure everything is looking good. Looks a little different than just a little while ago. Okay. Okay, so we're now back in the casita. It is the day before my parents are arriving. So I'm just now going to do one last clean of the space, and then I will show you how I transform the sofa into a bed. So the bed is now made up, and the cushions for the sleeper sofa, I have the seat cushion pushed against the wall here. One of the back cushions is there underneath the wardrobe, and then the other one is stacked on top of the bench seat cushion. And then this basket here has washcloths in it. And then inside the wardrobe we have guest robes with slippers. Then we have hangers and then some hanging shelves. And then towels and a guest soap. So that is what the wardrobe looks like when all of the bedding is taken out. Okay, so this is essentially the casita as a guest space. This is it in its final form of the transformation. And I have the water bottles filled up. I have the charging cords plugged in. The mini sound machine is charged. And I've added a little floral arrangement, gift for my parents, and the mini split going, so it's nice and cool in the space. Let's see if I can actually get the, and then water bottle, charging cord, and yeah, this is the casita as a guest room, all ready for my parents who are about to get here. So thank you so much for watching this transformation. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. And yeah, until next time, thank you so much for watching.